Welcome to Pageant Verite. I am Kyle Ian Haggerty, your host. Now, normally tonight, you will see me here with my beautiful, curvy host, Carly, but she's off just setting, so she left me here all by myself tonight, or I would like to think by myself. So, in protest, I'm not wearing a bow tie, and I decided not to shave. So, Carly, I miss you. Safe travels. And thank you for leaving me here to have an affair on you. Now, before I, introduce you to my new mistress for today, I do have a couple of shout-outs that I want to give. First of all, I want to give a shout-out. You've heard me mention her before. Jennifer Pitts McKenna of McKenna Walsh Consulting. She announced today that she's having a baby boy. So, Jennifer, congratulations to you and Ken on that. And as much as you would like to name your baby Ken, Kyle is a great name, too, if we're going to stick with the K thing. So I think you should name your newborn son Kyle when he arrives with us. Also, last show, I gave a couple of shout-outs to a couple of coaches, and I forgot a very good friend of mine who is outstanding. So a quick shout-out to Andrea Kellum from Birmingham, Alabama, of Pageant Perfection. She is a fantastic coach. Finally, before I introduce you to my mistress, as always, World Championships. I'm still traveling the country, putting together Team USA. If you're a singer, dancer, actress, or model, audition in your area. We're coming to a city near you. One more big announcement. I want everyone to take a look at this. Now, normally I tell people to buy my book. Big problem. This is the last book. I am sold out when this book is sold. So, the first person to buy this last book, I will give a complimentary copy of my new book, which is coming out in 2015. So, if you want the last copy of Producing Winners, Your Pathway to the Crown, see me. So, with that being said, I have a very special guest that I would like to introduce you to. She was the 2011, the reigning Miss Plus America Elite. She's beautiful, she's fierce, she's fabulous, and she's curvy. I'd like to introduce you to Spruce Dickerson. What's going on, Spruce?
Hey, y'all. Well, I'm just hanging out down here in Texas where it's dropping down into the 20s. It's crazy here. Texas is supposed to be hot.
Spruce.
What?
You're complaining about 20 degrees. Are you kidding me? It's almost below zero in D.C. Are you crazy?
No. Are you serious? You need to move here.
Well, I lived in Austin. I lived in Austin. I lived in Austin. And when I tell you, when it was 80 degrees on my birthday, and my birthday is in September, I got homesick really quick. I'm from Chicago.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm from Chicago. So we got 8 inches of snow here. Now, when I was in school, we used to truck through the snow in 8 inches. They get 5 inches here in D.C., they shut the place down. For real.
No, I'm with them. No, yeah.
Now, Spruce, you are my mistress for today. You know, for those who know me, I like my women curvy.
Well, you got it here, baby.
I got it? Okay.
You got it here.
So tell me about being curvy and beautiful, and about being a professional plus-size model, and about your title and your pageants. Give us the overview so Carly can be jealous when she comes back.
Oh, my goodness. You know, I just honored, and I feel so special just being invited and thought of to fill her shoes. And what huge shoes, what huge high heels to fill. So I'm just really honored to be sitting in this seat tonight. So thank everyone for inviting me. But I, in 2011, was crowned Miss Plus America Elite, and that was my very first national pageant ever. It has opened so many doors for me, given me opportunities to serve other people with my crown on just such a bigger platform and a wider and broader territory. Mm-hmm. And that's what pageantry is all about to me, is serving others. It's not about me. And everything else I do, my motivational speaking, my modeling, though I enjoy it, yes I do. I have passions for it, or else I wouldn't be doing it. But it's not about me. It's about taking my talents that God has created me with and giving those to others and serving others with my talents. So that's what it's all about for me.
Sure. You know, I talk to Carly all the time. As you know, I am a international level pageant coach, and I work with young ladies from around the country and around the world, actually. And sometimes I get asked by, let's say, my thinner clientele, that there's really not a place for plus girls in the pageant arena, especially with those that have physical fitness or swimsuit or that kind of thing. What do you have to say to them, and what advice would you give to a curvy girl like yourself that want to get involved in pageants, and what avenues do they have?
I'm sorry, Kyle. Can you just nutshell that and repeat that for me?
Sure, no problem. I have girls who are slim who don't see a purpose for plus size pageants. What do you have to say to them?
Okay. For me, pageantry isn't all about looks. Pageantry, first off, for any woman, beauty begins on the inside. Beauty is in your heart. All of this, face, your body, being a size 0, being whatever size, that's not what beauty is. Beauty starts in the heart and it comes out. Have you ever seen a gorgeous woman and then she opens her mouth and just ugly stuff come out?
Well, that's almost every day for me.
Well, what is that to you? What does that do to that woman, right? I mean, I would think that would make her ugly really quick, right?
Well, you don't want to ask me that.
That's a whole nother show,
right? Ask me that. You do not want to ask me that.
Y'all invite me back as a guest on another show, okay? And we'll talk all about that.
Well, before we move on with our show, I do have one more question for you. I do know that you work as I do know you work as a plus size model. Could you give some advice to, you know, some of my modeling clients or some young ladies out there who are interested in getting in the modeling industry, but they're plus size? What advice would you give to them?
Is to be true to who you are. Don't look at what other people are doing. Don't pay attention to what society tells you is beautiful. Because just as I said, beauty is on the inside. Beauty is what you make it. Beauty is in your attitude. Okay? So stay true to who you are. And, you know, if you truly feel that is your calling, and that's your direction, that purpose in life, then run after it with a fiery determination, and don't think it's going to happen overnight. It takes hard work. It takes determination and perseverance, and just stick with it.
Great, great advice. Great advice. Well, we have a very big show today, and we have an interesting show today. So as Carly is jet setting, missing this fantastic opportunity to share the screen with me, correct?
That's right. That's right.
We do have a very special guest. So, Spruce, what's on the agenda for tonight?
Well, I have tonight, like you said, our show is going to be a fabulous show. And we have a title holder who was threatened to have her crown and title taken away after she began posting about her religion, or should I say her lack of religion. Yes, our guest this evening, Denise Williams, an atheist. And who would have ever thought that her constitutional rights would be jeopardized, or she wouldn't be able to exercise her constitutional rights, and to create a stir, that would create a stir. So I'd like to introduce right now to the show our guest, Miss Denise Williams, and her title is Ms. Beautiful International Model. Welcome, Denise. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you? First off, you both need to come here. We're in the high 70s right now, so you need to get out here and get warm.
Oh, where Arkansas?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Arizona.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
It's
we're
too
getting
hot there
warmer.
for me. I can't do
Well,
Arizona. It's too hot. I
Oh no,
cannot do it.
we don't reach 100 until like mid-April. So
Yeah.
Okay,
You're right.
it's too hot.
But I
I
think
don't
the
do.
humidity's a little better, maybe.
I don't
that's a
do
dry
heat.
heat. That's what we all say here. So
Yes, yes. Well, and I'm just glad to meet you because I know we're Facebook friends. So,
yes,
it's always nice to meet one another in person or close enough here.
definitely.
Being
Nice to meet you for the first time.
Thank you, thank you. Well,
And Kyle
I've been
too.
looking forward to this. Pardon?
Yes, and Kyle too, for that matter. Nice to meet you for the first time.
Yes.
Who just disappeared on us.
I will be back. Well, Denise, let's get this show started because we have about 30 minutes or so. So, and we want to definitely get into hearing your story and hearing what you're about and what your message is. So, let me start off with reading to our audience again what our title is for that was promoted for our show tonight.
Yes.
And that was, can you be good with a crown if you are good without God?
Yes.
So I would like to know, and I would like for you to share with us and our audience tonight, that if this is your message and if you can explain exactly what that means to you, and also explain what it means to you to be good with the crown.
Okay, see, obviously I am an atheist, and with the rise of faith-based pageants, like people who base their Christian faith and like what determines a good queen, I mean, I have all those qualities. I have good morals. I love volunteering. I love making appearances. I love showing off. I mean, just because I don't believe in God should not like be like a qualification for to hold a pageant title.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, so what how do you feel? How does that make you feel? Has there been any controversy in that issue with you? I mean, when you've competed in pageants, because like the introduction is that you were threatened to have your crown taken away. So what is that all about?
Okay.
What happened there?
Okay. At the time when this happened, I was Today's American Woman's Kirby Miss National Ambassador. I was awarded that title by Geraldine Anders because of my abilities, and when it happened, it was the day of the tragic Sandy Hook shootings, and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, was not in a good mood that day. I will own up to that. I will own up to that. So I shared an article. It was called "Keep Prayers Out of Tragedies." And it was quite offensive, full of four-letter words and such, and a lot of people got offended, and I lost friends because of that article. And it was the first time that I did not realize how offended people would be because it was the day of the shootings or because it was atheism. I did not know at the time why people were offended. So
Right.
Geraldine and I had a talk, and she basically said I have to represent respectfully. So, and I know she is a proud Christian woman. So after that, I decided to keep my mouth shut, not post or type anything having to do with atheism. That was my choice. So, and I felt over the time, the last year, I felt censored. So I just felt censored. I feel like I couldn't be honest. It was I couldn't say anything about it, and it just made me feel horrible. It made me feel sick, honestly. And I just had to keep my mouth shut because in the past I've lost titles for speaking my mind openly and not quite nicely, to be honest. So I had to keep my mouth shut, and the loss of those titles sent me into a deep depression. And I knew I couldn't go through that again because that would be it for me if I lost my Today's American Woman title. So I just held it in and just stuck myself. So kept my mouth shut, zipped it. Yes.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think, because here in America we have freedom, there's so many diverse people in this country. And everybody speaks their mind, right?
Yes.
And right. So I think it's important that we respect other people. Um, so what do you think? Well, and I think also too that with pageantry, it's just like your home. You don't want people coming into your home and disobeying the rules of your home, right? You have
Exactly.
certain rules
Agreed.
set up in your home. So I look at pageantry in that same way. You have the director or the founder of that pageant system,
Yes.
and they have rules.
Yes.
So, and kind of like in sports, well, you have to play
By the rules.
by the rules. Exactly.
Yes.
So I think it's important, I don't know if you would agree or not, but would you think it's important that, maybe anything we do, and especially pageantry, to vet what that pageant is about? To research and see kind of what their rules are.
Yeah, I mean, I do that all the time. I mean, it's just, like I said, I was raised on good morals. Despite the fact that I was raised in a religious family, I became atheist as I got older, through my teenage years. But the thing, I mean, what kind of like bothers me is kind of like they're using. I feel like the faith is being pressured onto like like the contestants that you can only be like a good queen if you like believe morals based on God and the Bible and all that.
Okay. And so that's the feeling that you get in every pageant that you compete in.
The majority of them, yes. As long as it's not. I mean, people are coming out as with faith-based pageants, and there are several faith-based pageants, and I feel like I'm on the outside looking in because it makes me feel. I know someday I want to compete in another life pageant, but I feel like I don't measure up because of that one thing, being an atheist.
Right. Well, I can absolutely see how that would make you feel.
Yes.
But I think it's important that each of us be true to who we are. And
yes.
I think it's important to respect how other people feel. So, and that's a hard thing. If you're competing in a pageant that is faith-based, well, then those two don't marry one another.
No.
Being faith-based and being atheist.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So, but I'm curious though for the other question is, what is good with the crown? So I guess you answered that you have morals and you have ethics.
Yes. And I like to share, like help out, like love volunteering. I discovered I love volunteering when I started doing pageantry, and I love doing that, helping other people. And like want to be encouraging a role model for other curvy women like ourselves. So.
Right.
Yes.
Well, what do you base your morals on? What do you base being good on? What is your foundation for that?
Well, basically knowing the difference between right and wrong. Basically, like not getting into trouble, like within the law. I mean, I'm really good with that. I know I'm a good person. I'm a leader. I've been in various activities, involved in various activities when I would go to school. I mean, I get involved in everything. It's like I put myself out there. I mean.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, and because I've been on your Facebook page and I've seen your posts about those pictures that you post, and the anti-Christian pictures, and
yes,
and then I as a Christian that really just, I'm like, oh my gosh. So if you're talking about being good with a crown, but then you put like this vitriolic, things out there, it's like, how is that good?
Okay,
I mean,
honestly, it's not. A lot of time I let my emotion get the best of me, because I'm at the point where any mention of God or Jesus or religion, it seriously gets me sick to my stomach every time I see it or hear it. It's just I don't know why I feel this way. I feel I have to like lash out, push back at them, fight fire with fire. I honestly don't like it. I honestly don't like feeling that way, to be honest. And I already promised I would not be such a jerk about it anymore. But it's like I'm going through a lot, and just still don't feel comfortable. I feel like I belong to a lot of atheist groups, and some people say that atheists are not as trusted as rapists, which is not good. Which is why atheists have such a bad reputation. So
let me ask you this. So where do you go when you get depressed and you feel all yucky and everything? Where do you go with that? Where do you go to get comfort? Where do you, how do you deal with that?
I go inside myself. I mean, I have my family to support me. I've got friends. I've got a counselor. I mean, they know my position, and they are becoming more accepting of it, and I'm getting to it. It's just I still don't feel accepted as I like to be, like when on social media and Facebook particularly. So,
well, Denise, I think it's kind of too like being a curvy woman.
Yes.
Society isn't going to accept us. Not all people are going to accept us. Okay. Right. And I lost my thought. Oh my goodness. But my point being is that people will fail us all day long, every day. I've been through that. I've experienced that. I have life experience with that. Okay. I've been disappointed countless times. Okay. Yes. So you can't depend on people. Yes, you do depend on people, and we're interdependent. We're not codependent on people. We're interdependent. But people, and it doesn't matter. I disappoint people. I fail people all the time. We can't depend on people for our joy and our happiness. We can't depend on pageantry or a crown or a title for our happiness and our joy. We have to depend. We can't even on ourselves, because you say you go within. Okay. Yes. If I had to depend on myself, forget it. Okay, sister, I'd be depressed every day if I depended on myself. Okay. And if I depended on other people, I would, I'd stay in depression. So, I mean, for me personally, my personal experience, I have to believe in somebody that's higher than me. I have to believe in something that is greater than I am. And I'm not trying to, convince you of anything. I'm just telling you my personal experience and just what has happened to me. Just like the air that I breathe. Yes. I can't see it. I don't know what's there. But I mean, I do know it's there, but I can't see it. So with me, the same way. I know God is there. I can't see him physically with my eyes like I'm looking at you. Yes. But I know he's there. And I know that through all the tragedies that I've gone through in my life, and I've had many, all the tragedies young in my life too, he has given me a joy and a peace that I cannot even explain to you how I've gotten through. That's just that's just me, okay? So it's not about me. It's about you.
Fair enough, and I respect you for that. I mean, I'm still learning to love myself, because I do not have very good confidence in everything, of myself and everything. It's just I felt alone. It's just
okay.
I don't know what's out there. I mean, I'd rather work on myself, honestly. I mean, I don't know if I'm not saying I won't believe in God forever. I mean, I don't know, or higher power or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know for now.
Right. Well, I tell you what, Denise, you know what? I mean, if you would want to, let's follow up with one another after the show. But let's continue and let's pile in on the conversation so he can have some FaceTime and some game time with us. He can come play with the girls.
Yeah, come on in, Kyle.
I play with girls often, so.
So you're probably huh?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say that when Dr. Phil wants to go on vacation, Spruce, I nominate you to take his place.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Yes, I do. Okay, so it's my turn, yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Little bit of a disclaimer. I'm Catholic. I was an altar boy, and I'm not a Bible thumper by any stretch. And in pursuit of getting ready for today's show, I've done a lot of research. And Denise, the one thing that I kind of realized doing my research is that
Yes.
I kind of think I'm a little bit of a free thinker to a certain extent. I do believe in a God. I do believe there's something up there
Yes.
greater than me. But I think my approach is different, and I'm sure you're familiar with the term free thinker.
Yes.
And I feel that I got some of that in me. So the way that I want to do this is that I want people to understand who you are. We kind of get a sense of your personality and what you've been through, but from this whole atheist standpoint,
Yes.
I want to get some clarity for our audience. So I want to kind of start there, and then I'm going to get into the pageant perspective of all of this.
Okay.
Okay, could you share with our audience, just so they're totally clear, what is the difference between being atheist and agnostic? What is the difference?
Agnostic is when you're not sure you believe in God or not. Atheist is just not believing in God flat out. So.
Okay, so with that
it doesn't mean devil worshiper. It doesn't mean Satanist. Right. It just means I don't believe in God. I basically based on evidence and all that. So there we go.
So I understand that. No problems with that. So in your opinion, as an atheist, how was our world created? Where did man come from?
That's not one of the things I worry about. I don't worry about history. I mostly worry about the present right now. I live in the moment. I just really don't think about that. I'm not really, that's not one of my main concerns.
Okay, so do you feel that there is a higher something other than us, or are we just existing? And again, not putting words in your mouth, I just want our audience to be clear.
Personally, I think it's existing and then just living and then dying. That's basically it. So.
Okay. Now, you said that, during your lifetime of becoming an adult, that you became an atheist. How does one become an atheist?
For me personally, because I've had my doubts, I've started having doubts. My mom was Pentecostal Baptist, and I went to church with her. I just didn't buy into like the dramatics, the actions of it. I just wasn't feeling it, and over time I just stopped believing. But I had an experience where I believed that if I prayed for like whatever I wanted, I would get it right then and there. I would get it guaranteed, but that did not happen, and that's when I started having doubts. So it just grew to it felt like a farce, an act. So.
Okay. Now, as we live in a society where, here in America, where, back in the 60s, African Americans and people of color are discriminated against, in the 1990s, the 80s and 90s, the early 2000s, gay people, gay, lesbian, and transgender people, and even now are discriminated against. Do you loop in lesbians in that group, of atheists rather, in that group that are being discriminated against?
Well, I know most people won't talk about atheists being discriminated against, but from what I've read from other people's experiences, it's like they lose jobs, they lose marriages. I mean, I have not had that experience. I mostly lost friends because of it. So. Right.
Well, a survey was done by the American Atheists Association.
Yes.
That it was stated that 54% of Americans would not vote for someone who is atheist. Okay, that was the statistic that came out. What do you feel needs to happen to change that? For example, for the longest time, gay, lesbians, and transgender individuals did not have many rights and were discriminated against. And now the majority of Americans feel that there should be some form of marriage equality. what do you feel need to happen as an atheist for you all to just have, let's just say, equal consideration and not go through the things that you're talking about?
Well, basically what I've seen is like the atheists that I'm friends with, they like are concerned with like taking in God we trust off of money and like taking God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. I really don't. Honestly, I really do not care either way. I'm just like I feel like I should be respected like for my beliefs because I've had to deal with like hatred from my own mother because she did not refuse to accept that I did not believe in God. So, I mean, that's not important to me. I mean, it's just, I'm still new at this, honestly. I'm still new at this. I'm still pretty, like, a beginning. I mean, I honestly don't know what I am to describe you, but to describe myself, I mean, part of me thinks I'm an atheist. Part of me thinks I'm a free thinker, so
well,
that's where I'm at right now. It's confusing out there when you're just getting out there, so.
Well, here's the thing, Denise, is that
yes.
because I'm about to flip to the pageant stuff on this atheism thing, but the challenge that I'm having here is that I'm hearing some contradiction in what you're saying. I'm hearing free thinker. I'm hearing that you don't care about certain things. I'm hearing that you're confused. You know, I'm hearing all these different things, and I don't say this as a slight, but you know, I feel that the only way that things are going to change for those that are atheists is that if things are straightforward, to the point, and very clear. And right now, I'm hearing a lot of ambiguous thoughts. Okay, and so to me, I'm having a hard time understanding, you know, what the relevance is here of your atheist beliefs in regards to your pageantry as far as being right with the crown. So I have a series of questions that I want to ask you to hopefully hedge that and put that together, because right now I'm feeling confused. So my first question is, what is your opinion of Geraldine, the national director of Today's American Woman, based on your experience with her as a pageant director, you know, and keep it real. Okay, because we've invited her to come on this show because I know that she's going to have something to say, or I would like to hope that she would come on the show.
To be honest, she is a great director. I mean, I have nothing but respect for her. I mean, I understand where she's coming from. I understand the people of Christian faith. I mean, I want to, like, be okay with people with what they believe in, but I'm not quite there yet. I mean, I don't know where I got this from because I want to feel, I feel like I could, like, change some minds, open some minds because of it. I mean, it's like I want to turn people away from religion, and I don't know when I've decided to become a superhero, but I'm totally realizing that's not possible. I can't change minds. I mean, but when it comes to Geraldine, I have nothing but respect for her. We're friends, and I do like, and I love, and I admire her so much. So. Right.
You know something? I'm going to switch gears here. I want to have a little bit of fun with you. Is that okay? Can I have a little bit of fun with you? Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. So let me set the stage. Okay. Yes. You are at some fierce, you know, curvy girl plus pageant, and you have made the top 5, and you are now about to answer on stage questions. So I need you to get in pageant mode for me. Okay, take a breath. Take a deep breath. Get in pageant mode for me. Okay. So you're in a fierce canary yellow gown that I designed for you. Say yes.
Yes.
Okay. And your hair and makeup is done. You got your lace front on. You got your lashes on. You got your pop red lipstick. You are ready, right?
Yes.
Okay. On stage question for Miss Plus Arizona. Okay. As an atheist, how would you encourage people to vote for someone who is atheist for political office?
I would encourage them to vote for somebody who is atheist because religion should not matter whether they're a nice person or not, as long as they do for the good of the country.
Okay.
Or the city.
Great. Now, do you feel that the Pledge of Allegiance, should our children in our public institutions say the Pledge of Allegiance and say the term under God? Do you feel that should be required, or should it just be a moment of meditation?
I mean, the Pledge of Allegiance has been a standard for many years. I mean, if they don't want to say under God, that's their choice. If school, that would depend on the school. If they want meditation, I'm fine with that. If they want to say the pledge, I'm fine with that. But they should not, like, force, I mean, kids should be able to think for themselves and not be taught, like, that taught to think for themselves and not taught religion because their mom and grandma and great grandma all on they taught it. I mean, they should be taught to think for themselves and decide on their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Another question for you, Miss Plus Curvy Arizona. Should a pageant director be able to have like a litmus test of their contestants if they are a Christian-based pageant? Should they be able to decline entry to someone who's atheist?
Honestly, I don't think that would be fair, honestly. I mean, you could have like the Christian faith based, but without the faith bad. I mean, we're all the same. I mean, we're all good people. I mean, as long as you haven't like done anything illegal, I don't think like I don't think religion should matter in like everything. So like religion or lack of religion should matter.
Okay.
I mean, just based it on like like the community service, the categories like community service, evening gown, swimsuit, interview, essay, photogenic, you name it. I mean, religion has never been a major standard in pageantry, and it should not determine what makes a queen or not.
Okay, okay. So you are a national title holder, and you have the opportunity to speak on the topic of separation of church and state. What would you say?
Granted, I do not know enough information about the the battle going on. I mean, I do not see I need more experience. I would need to do more research on it to like have a clear understanding of the issues. So,
okay.
Like I said before, I'm new at this, so I mean, I still have a lot to learn.
Okay. Now,
I'm open to learning. So.
As you stated, there are many Christian-based pageants. Would you want to see a pageant for those that have the same beliefs that you do?
Honestly, like I keep saying, religion should not matter as long as you are a good person and worthy of a pageant title.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, it's just.
I understand.
I mean, it shouldn't matter. I mean, you're a great person. I mean, the qualities is like. Okay. Why does faith have what does faith have to do with it? Honestly.
Well, here's a little bit of a challenge that I have. I have reviewed some of your posts and things that you have put out, and you've caused a little bit of a huff. You caused a little bit of a huff. Do you feel that based on those posts that it was justified for directors to relinquish you of your title, or do you feel that you were treated unjust?
I mean, when I had I have not had titles relinquished ever since like the first time. I have not had titles relinquished with this instance since I came out as an atheist. So I mean, I'm trying to like hold myself back, but it's just not easy, and I will take responsibility for like lashing out. So I do not like I do not like my what's the word I'm looking for, my approach to it. So I'm still working on that, and I want to get better at that. I'm still willing to be tolerant. Yes. So
I think it's Spruce here. Let me interject. Yes. I think that's what I'm hearing through this whole thing, Kyle and Denise, is that Denise is still finding her way. I think she's still trying to find her compass point as far as trying to take a stand in how she believes and entering into the pageant world and how to marry all that.
Well, Spruce, but the thing with that, though, is again, where I see the challenge, and this is just not about Denise, this is just about this whole topic and girls who represent national systems, is that at the end of the day, when you have a crown and a sash, you have a microphone, and you are a role model, and that comes with the responsibility. That's kind of like saying that's like Charles Barkley, or whatever that basketball player's name, saying, well, I didn't ask to be a role model. By the mere fact that you put yourself out there, you are one. And there's a responsibility that comes with that. And so where I'm having a challenge is that if you're going to go there, go there.
Right. And this is my thing is everybody can be who they are, but be respectful about it. And in my opinion, Denise, you know, and I love you, okay, but in my opinion, what I've seen on your Facebook, and that's your Facebook, I don't have to go there, you know, that's your own personal thing, you know, but if you're going to wear a crown and be representative and represent good, and I say quote unquote good, then don't spew vitriolic, acerbic things with those pictures that you post, because that's very hateful. So how can you say that you're good by posting those hateful things? And I understand you're trying to find your way, you're trying to find your platform and yourself, but if you're going to wear a crown and represent quote unquote good, those are hateful things. And hate and good don't live together under the same roof.
Yeah, now one other thing too, and Denise, I have a different spin on it, is that if you're going to be aggressive about it, you know, no one loves aggression more than I do. You know, I say go for it. You know, don't be aggressive and then go back and go, oh, I'm confused. You know, but I guess that's a different show. So before we wrap up, Denise, is there anything that you want to leave our audience with so they really understand your point of view and they get to know who you are so you're not misrepresented?
Basically, I feel I'm trying not to, I want to not be a jerk about it. I mean, I'm proud of who I am, and basically if people don't like it, I mean, that says more about them than it says about me, because I'm missing it's just one aspect of my life, and it's just because if you want to judge me based on that one aspect, you're missing out on a fabulous person who is musical, who's talented, who's creative, who's intelligent, who's everything, and who's got good qualities about herself, even though she's not quite feeling good about herself yet. I will admit, it's just I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. So.
Well, Denise, I'll say this: there are what I call a lot of Sunday Christians out there that will go to church and beat the Bible on Sunday, and then
be there twerking in the club on Saturday night.
Absolutely. So I definitely get it. So I really thank you for putting yourself out there and in many ways, you know, educating people that don't quite understand where you are coming from. So, you know, I just want to let you know as well that by having the courage, you know, to coming on the show and have me banter with you a little bit, you know, because I'm not the easiest person to interview with. When you decide to compete at your next national pageant, I will provide your training complimentary, and
really?
I will do that for you. Yes, I will.
Thank
I will
you so
offer
much.
you a free consultation to get you ready. So, you know, with that said, hit me up, you know, in my email. You can reach me at www.weproducewinners.com, and I promise that I'll do everything everything I can do to help you not only get your national title, but to feel good about it and be a positive person regardless of what your beliefs are. So I will do that for you.
Thank you. I highly appreciate it.
So, Spruce, what we got coming up next? What's going on?
Wow, that is wonderful. God, that's a really great gift, Denise, from Kyle, pageant coaching. Wow.
Yes.
Good. Well, and I just want to thank you, Denise. You've been a great guest, and I feel your heart, and we had good discussion. So, and like Kyle said, you know, thank you for being you, for being yourself and being so vulnerable. That's hard to do. Before a live audience, and who knows how many people out there are listening and watching. So that's hard to do. So you're a strong woman, stronger than you think, and you have more courage than you think. So way to go.
I need to remind myself that I'm tough and I'm awesome, but I'm getting there. I'm a work in progress.
We're all a work in progress, honey,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
thank you, and Kyle and Pageant Verite team, thank you so much for having me. Audience, thank you all so much for joining us, and we definitely want to see y'all back next week, because next week our guest will be the director of the former pageant that Ms. Williams competed in, the Today's American Woman pageant. The director, Jera Lynn Anders, will be with us next week, and so that should be an interesting show.
It's gonna be fantastic. I am one of the coaches for that pageant system, and it's gonna be great. So within closing, I normally give a message to our audience, but Denise, I have a message for you that I give every week, but I'm going to direct it to you directly, okay?
Yes.
I want you to believe in yourself and to never, ever give up on your dreams. That regardless of who you are and what your personal beliefs are, greatness begins with inside of you. And I want you to remember that.
Thank you
That's
so
right.
much.
Thank you so much for joining us at Pageant Verite, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.